Good morning, everyone. I'm Joseph Donaldson. I'm delighted you are here. And I would like to say happy Intern Day to all of our interns and all of the intern supervisors who work to make this opportunity possible for college students to bridge college and career and find out all the wonderful things about an extension professional career. For the benefit of our students and thinking about their transitions from college to career, there are a couple of people I would like to introduce. Recognizing that everyone with us today is special, I did want to make sure the students put a name with a face, and I wanted to introduce Nikki Curtis, who is Assistant Extension Director of HR and Operational Strategy, and students may remember her from internship orientation. Nikki, thank you for being with us. And I wanted to recognize Dr. Sarah Kirby, Assistant Extension Director and State Program Leader for Family and Consumer Sciences. Dr. Kirby, thank you for being with us. And Dr. Ben Chapman, Department Head for Agricultural and Human Sciences. Dr. Chapman, thank you for being with us. Also, Dr. Annie Hardison Moody is with us, and she is Graduate Coordinator in Agricultural and Human Sciences. Again, thank you all for being here. At the end of the spring 2022 semester, we had 25 students in the extension major and minor at NC State. Today, you will see 4 of the very best. All of these students are completing agricultural and extension education 423 and agricultural and extension education 491, which are our internship courses that support the core extension education competencies identified by research as needed to be successful in an extension career. Again, thank you for being here. Our first presenter will be Annabeth Harris from Alexander County. I want to recognize Annabeth's supervisor, Allison Brown, who is the County Extension Director in Alexander County. Annabeth majors in agricultural and extension education. She has a minor in extension education and a minor in animal science. Her hometown is Taylorsville in Alexander County. Annabeth was active in 4-H and FFA, and she has continued to volunteer for those organizations. In college, she has been active in the Agricultural and Extension Education Club. Please join me in welcoming Annabeth Harris.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Annabeth Harris. I am serving in the Alexander County Cooperative Extension Office as their summer intern. Like Dr. Donaldson said, I do have a major in agricultural education with minors in animal science and extension. I come from a farming family in Alexander County. We have 10 chicken houses. My family owns a squash and zucchini operation. We have beef cows. My aunt owns a produce stand and grows strawberries. So we're very rooted in agriculture, and this is where my love for extension and 4-H and advocating for agriculture has really came from. I am an NC State student. This year I will be a junior, so I'm kind of getting towards the end of my career as an undergraduate, and I hope to go ahead and get started on my student teaching soon as well. Like Dr. Donaldson said as well, I do have 4-H experience. I was in 4-H for 13 years, and I served as the 2018-2019 South Central District 4-H president, as well as I ran for state 4-H secretary treasurer twice following my term as a district officer. So a little bit of overview about Alexander County. We have a population of around 37,000. It is growing. Our county is very close to some very big neighboring areas, and our county is definitely seeing an influx of people coming in, which also brings new needs that Cooperative Extension can definitely help out with. So we are located within the Western North Carolina area in the South Central District. Our district director is Mr. Keith Walters, and then kind of touching base again on those neighboring counties and areas, we have Statesville nearby, Hickory, Charlotte, Boone, and Winston. So we have some pretty big areas just within about 45 minutes to an hour of our town. So, again, a lot of people are coming into Alexander County to live, and they are, needing things from Cooperative Extension and research that we can offer. So we are a very strong county that has a lot of agricultural presence as well as manufacturing. A lot of our agriculturists have chicken houses. A lot of people have cows. We do have row cropping, not too much as far as like fruit and stuff goes. We do have some apple orchards and a few other things, but mostly we're doing chickens in Alexander County. Our school system is pretty large. We don't have that many students. We do have 7 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. We also have 2 Christian schools that people can, send their children to, as well as the homeschool option. So as far as our school system goes, we're not too terribly big. Our high school only has about 1,500 students. So we're looking at a pretty smaller, community as far as that goes, as well as the diversity within the county. We do have some diversity within our county, but it's not like what you would see in a very larger community. So a little bit of overview about our Cooperative Extension Office. My supervisor is Miss Allison Brown. She is our County Extension Director, as well as our livestock agent. I've known Miss Allison since I was a little 4-H'er, since I was a clover bud. She actually took me to my first goat show, and I just remember those memories as being so good. And I love Allison to death. She's probably one of my biggest mentors as far as 4-H goes and learning about extension and kind of what extension's all about. We also have DJ Sawyer, who is our 4-H agent. He's been with us for about 5 years now. And Mr. Holcomb is our family consumer science agent. I actually work with Durr and DJ the most in my internship. And then I work with Carrie a good amount. Carrie is our horticulture agent, as well as Julie Campbell is our administrative assistant here in the county. We do have a new office building. We moved in here about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Our office building actually hosts our tax office, register of deeds, our planning and inspections, and a few other offices as well, like 911 addressing, compliance, that kind of thing. So our office building hosts everything in the county. It's actually called the Alexander County Services Building. And we're lucky to have a very nice office, a very new office, and be able to be in the middle of town, so that way people can, reach our services as easy as possible. So a little bit of my internship, I actually started a couple weeks later than the state funded internships. Mine is actually a county funded internship. I do have 283.76 hours total so far as of yesterday afternoon. So I am a little bit behind in the hour requirements of the class, but I've talked to Dr. Donaldson and he said that's, kind of no big deal. I spend most of my time working with the 4-H Youth Development Program with our summer fun camps. So basically what I do is I help plan and implement these camps with Ms. Durr and Mr. DJ, depending on who the camp kind of relates more to. If it's relating to food, me and Durr will do it, and then DJ will kind of help out. Or if it's more of like an outdoorsy kind of camp, me and DJ will do those together. I'm also kind of in charge of registering and kind of making sure we have records of the campers that are coming in and out of our camps, making sure their 4-H online is, up to date and enrolled well. And then as well as communication, I have helped with making newspaper articles and helping out with our radio spots for our local news and radio stations. So these can be about like 1-minute segments about what 4-H has going on and what we're doing. I also help with Ms. Durr with our family consumer sciences courses. I've helped with Meds Not Med class, which is basically transitioning into more of a Mediterranean diet versus taking medicine. It's very helpful in reducing inflammatory agents and that kind of thing. So I kind of helped her out with preparing those kinds of meals and stuff, helping her, get the class together, and being able to have that class here was a lot of fun. I also helped with our home foods preservation class. I absolutely love cooking. So me and Dar do a lot of stuff together. But for home foods preservation class, I basically was just a helping hand in making sure, that our produce and stuff was washed and everybody was packing and canning the correct way to ensure our food safety standards were met. I also work with the Alexander County Farmers Market with Miss Carrie, our horticulture agent. And I've been doing this about every Saturday since I started my internship, except for maybe one or two. And what we do is we set up a booth that has all kinds of different information as far as, you know, soil samples, different things for your gardens, that kind of thing. Depending on which agent's working that week, we all kind of take turns. Kind of depends on what the booth's going to offer. So when me and Durr work the booth, we'll do like some sort of food tasting, which is pictured over here on the right-hand side of the screen. We had a quick refrigerator pickle that we made, and then as well as some pickled onions. So we're kind of catering to which agent is there that week as to what we actually send out, but then we also have different pamphlets and things that people can pick up as well. And then the picture to the left is me and Miss Durr in the back working with one of our Cloverbud camps. They were making chocolate chip cookies. So just kind of getting those basic cooking skills down, showing them how to measure flour, teaspoon versus tablespoon conversions. That's kind of what me and Durr do a lot. So some of my results and accomplishments as far as the internship goes, I really love my work environment. My administration and people that I work with, they are amazing. I could not ask for a better office. Miss Allison is always very understanding and supports me in anything I've ever done in life. And she always wants to make sure that, I get it done and get it done the right way. So I really love my work environment as well as everybody else here. We all get along very well, and I really just love working with them. They're really great. As far as our summer camps go, I really love working our summer camps. I've helped with summer camps since I was old enough to, so I would say 12 or 13. So, but I've kind of seen the different side of summer camp as the intern, being able to, kind of figure out the logistics of summer camps, trying to budget the summer camps to make sure we're not going over budget, and making sure the kids are being safe, and all the things that come with summer camps. It's a really great experience for me, and I absolutely love it. We're actually teaching camp today. They're going to an apple orchard, and then they're going to come back and make peach fritters. So just being able to teach kids about agriculture and about the things that I love and other people love is really great for me. With the FCS courses that we've done, it really brings a different side and viewing as far as teaching adults about food safety and about things that many of them kind of have questions about, like canning. Learning new skills especially is very important to me. I think you can always learn things. So being able to help teach these home foods preservation classes, and then as well as the Med Not Meds classes, was really great as far as teaching adults and getting that other side, not just teaching youth. Because again, I really do believe you can never quit learning. So teaching the adults was just really great. As well as the farmers markets. I really do enjoy the farmers markets. You get to see another side of Extension as well through there, with people who just want to stop by and talk about, they've got a patch of grass in their yard that's turning brown and they don't know what to do. Or I had a gentleman call me the other day about he had birds and he wanted to get rid of them, and he was wondering how to kind of deter them out of his barn. So kind of, researching and finding things for people is a really nice thing to do. And with the farmers markets and stuff, I love being able to see people bring their kids and like their grandparents and things and come in, and they'll get so excited because they're talk about, well, mom used to grow cucumbers and we would can, or she would make this one certain dish, and people are just so excited to see some really nice homegrown produce that's local for our farmers. As well as our communications, our newspaper articles are about every 2 weeks to once a month, depending on what we have going on. I really do enjoy writing those and seeing them in the newspaper and kind of highlighting what we have going on in our program, and as well as our radio stations, or what we call radio spots. They're really nice. I personally don't listen to the radio, but I've heard a lot of people say that they do really enjoy hearing what we have going on when we have our radio spots highlighted through our local radio here in town. Some reflections of my internship experience. Like I said, this has been a great experience for me. I've always been a team leader in our 4-H program, but being the intern has really gave me a different side of Extension that I didn't really know about, as far as like the logistical part of it. But just working with my coworkers and Miss Allison and everybody else has just been great. I really love what I'm doing, and I definitely think it's a fulfilling position. I could certainly see myself doing this after college and, maybe for a really long time. So, I really just love it here. And I think extension is a great way to, kind of fulfill my dreams of being somebody who could advocate for agriculture through the times that we need it. The only thing that I think about my internship that I would have changed is some of the state versus county funded internship experiences. The state funded ones, they began about 2 weeks earlier than mine. So I've kind of felt like I've been behind this whole time, as far as hours go and that kind of thing. But on the flip side of that, I am actually going to end my internship on August the 12th. So I'm going to have a little bit over a month after this day to finish the internship and kind of get ready to go back to school in the fall. So I feel like as far as the state versus county funded internship experiences, I am lucky I get to work more than 40 hours a week. If I would like to, if I don't have to. My supervisor is very much flexible with my schedule and anything that I need to get done or things like that. So I just wish maybe we would have started a little bit earlier. But the only reason why we don't is because our summer fun stuff doesn't start until about June. So there's really no reason for me to start a little bit earlier, but I do get to work a little longer. So overall, I have just absolutely loved this experience as the intern. I've loved taking the class, being able to reflect on what's been going on in my internship has been amazing. And I've really just enjoyed this experience overall. Does anybody have any questions?
Annabeth, it looks like Dr. Travis Park, undergraduate coordinator in agricultural and human sciences, has a question. Dr.
Okay.
Park, please go ahead.
Annabeth, thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. I'm just curious, what has been the most surprising thing that you've learned from your internship this summer?
I would say, the most surprising thing has been how busy it has been. I've helped out with camps for years, and it feels like the past couple weeks we've done camp back to back to back. And it's, hurry up and clean this camp up and get ready for the next week because, we're trying to get in as much programming as we can during the summer. So a lot of our camps, will end on a Friday, and then Monday morning we start a new one. So just trying to get that set up and, get everything ready. And the spontaneous trips to Walmart to pick up that last thing we forgot, it's been pretty fun. So definitely, just trying to plan and realizing just how much it takes to plan has been surprising. Trying to get lists together of what all we need, what we need to get, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Thank you. And please give Carrie Mitchell my best when you see her.
Well, thanks.
Are there other questions for Annabeth?
Dr. Donaldson, I just want to say how amazing Annabeth has been, and she is going to be an amazing extension agent one day. We're hoping, fingers crossed, because she has just been such an asset to our office, and she will jump in there and do whatever it takes to get it done. And like I said, sometimes it has been Saturday work, sometimes it's been more than 5 days a week, and she, along with Carrie Mitchell, has restored my faith in the younger generations for sure. So I'm just extremely proud of Annabeth and all that she's done this summer, and I couldn't have asked for a better intern.
Allison, thank you. We appreciate you. Annabeth, congratulations on your internship experience. Thank you very much for sharing today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Please find an emoji appropriate for Annabeth to celebrate her on this National Intern Day. Now we turn our attention to Bladen County. Libby Blosser is the intern in Bladen County. I want to introduce her supervisor, Becky Spearman, who is County Extension Director. Becky, please wave so everybody can see you. Welcome. Thank you for providing this opportunity for Libby. Libby is an extension education major. She has minors in crop science as well as horticultural science. She has been active in the NC State chapter of Ducks Unlimited and the Agricultural and Extension Education Club at NC State. She's a native of Columbus County. She has worked in the Tally Turkey Education Unit, and we are delighted that Libby has been an intern this summer. And Libby, we're looking forward to your presentation. Please join me in welcoming Libby Blosser.
Thank you, Dr. Donaldson. Let me get this pulled up for you. So good morning, everyone. My name is Libby Blosser. I was the intern for Bladen County Extension this summer. And like Dr. Donaldson said, I'm majoring in extension education and I have minors in crop science, horticultural science, and I recently added an ag business minor as well. I've grown up around agriculture and farming. My dad has owned hog farms and I've grown up around that. So agriculture is something I'm passionate about, and working in extension has allowed me to work in a field that I'm passionate about and has served me well. So to give you an overview of Bladen County, our office was located at 405 Smith Circle in Elizabethtown, North Carolina. Bladen County is the #1 blueberry producer across the state. They also have top leading production numbers in the swine industry and the poultry industry. Bladen is an agriculture-based economy. They rely heavily on agriculture, and it's a big part of the social aspect of that county as well. The county director for Bladen is Miss Becky Spearman. She was also my supervisor for this summer internship, and she is also the livestock agent at the Bladen office. There was 9 total staff at this office, and if you wanted to count me, I was the 10th person. So there were 7 agents. The horticulture agent was Jacob Barber. Matt Strickland served field crops. Krista Johnson was the family and consumer sciences agent. Tony Newby was the 4-H agent, and Miss Becky, of course, was the livestock agent. Then we also had Olivia Antonio, who served as the farm workers and farm safety agent, and then Nelson Brownlee, who served as the small farms management agent. And then we had our secretary and our administrative assistant at the office as well. So major projects and tasks that I was responsible for this summer. My main program that I developed over the summer was our strawberry project. This is for middle school and high school students in Bladen County, as well as the 4-H participants at the extension office. Each student will be given a strawberry plant, and they will do a school year-long project. They will be given workbooks and calendars, observation sheets that they will keep track of the progress of their strawberry over time. And the purpose of this is just to provide a basic understanding of agricultural production, specifically in strawberries. And we're hoping to develop an appreciation for agriculture and ag labor within the county of Brunswick, because there is a lack of understanding among the general student population. And then there will also be a contest and awards day at the end of the project. I was also very active with the 4-H youth. We're actually up here today at the livestock contest in Riddick. We took our 4-H to the poultry contest and a livestock clinic as well. I've helped lead and participated, helping Miss Becky and the 4-H agent in the youth livestock practices. I participated a lot and helped out with the summer camps, and I actually have a whole slide dedicated to that because this was probably what I worked the most in my internship. It was a big component of it, so I will elaborate on those a little bit later. And as far as program planning, I helped develop Strawberry Project. I got curriculum for some of the summer fun programs and helped attended meetings to help plan those. I was responsible for writing some articles for the North Carolina Horse Blog and the Extension website. And then we did a reality store program at East Bladen and West Bladen High Schools. And this was a program, it was for middle school and high school students, and it gave them insight as to what life is as an adult. So a lot of students are unaware that there's going to be a lot of expenses. You have to learn how to budget your money and decipher between needs and wants. So it was really eye-opening for them. It was really successful too. And I went on lots of farm visits this summer. I went with my supervisor. My second week I was there, we went and sheared sheep, which was a brand new experience for me. We also did some hoof trimming. I helped her at some hog farms doing some sludge surveys and sprinkler calibrations. I assisted the field crops agent at some farm visits as well. We got calls for pesticide injury on peanuts and pesticide injury on corn. And I also attended a cotton and peanut field day with the field crops agent. That was probably one of my favorite parts of my internship. It was a lot of information thrown at you at one time, but I really enjoyed the field day, and hopefully I can attend some more in the future as an agent. And then my very first day I was there, I got to go on a home visit with the horticulture agent, and I went on several more throughout the course of my internship. So I have some pictures from our summer camps. The top left one is from our discovery camp. We were making some ladybug pancakes that day. The bottom left is from our farm to fork camp. We were practicing giving vaccines, intramuscular and subcutaneous injections. The top right was from our farm to fork camp. We went to a local farm, and the kids actually got to do some hoof trimming on some sheep. And then the bottom right is also from our farm to fork. It may be hard to see, but the kids have some peas, some freshly shelled peas in their hands, and they got to see how a pea sheller works. They got to go look around a produce stand, and we also covered the agritourism part of agriculture during our farm to fork camp. And they ended up going home with a free peach that day, so they were happy. So our summer camps. Our first one was pollinator camp. This was held on June 22nd, and we had 4 participants ranging from 5 to 8-year-olds. And as the name suggests, we talked about pollinators and how they are important to agricultural production because they fertilize the plants and help spread the pollen so that we can produce fruits and vegetables and crops. Our leadership camp was June 30th. We also had 4 participants for this camp as well. And this was for 12 to 18-year-olds. And during this camp, we did an activity to help the kids discover their personal leadership style. And then from there, we did individual activities that helped them develop their leadership skills. Our 4-H Discovery Camp was probably the busiest camp we had. It was a 2-day camp, and we had 16 participants, 5 to 8-year-olds, and it was 2 full days. I mean, it was really fun, and the kids loved it. But it took all 5 agents at one time to help make it a success. But it was a great success. Our farm to fork camp was July 20th through the 22nd. We had 8 participants, 9 to 14-year-olds, and this was probably my favorite camp out of all of them. We went to local farms in the morning. We went to a blueberry farm, blackberry farm. We got to go to a local processing where they do muscadine grapes, jellies, and stuff like that. And we also got to tour Lou Mill Vineyards, which showed them the muscadine grape, but also the agritourism part of agriculture. And then our final camp that I got to help out with was our caring and sharing program at a local church that also served as a daycare center. And we did that this past Monday, and we had 34 participants, and they were kind of sort of all ages, not a specific age group. But I assisted the FCS agent. We did a dairy nutrition activity, and the kids were also able to do a cheese tasting activity as well. So moving on to results and accomplishments. Like I mentioned earlier, I had publications in the North Carolina Horse Blog, on the Extension Facebook site. I did some reflections for our summer camps for the Facebook page. And then also a horticulture article on the Extension website. Some of the results that we had from our summer camps, the participants improved their leadership skills, and they learned the concept that true leaders serve others. And to elaborate on that idea, we actually did a cupcake. We made cupcakes and decorated them for the sheriff's department, and then delivered them to them at that camp. They also have a greater understanding of 4-H and agriculture. Our reality store provided participants with a greater understanding of expenses and costs as an adult, and it helped them improve their financial management skills. And then our strawberry project is to improve the agriculture literacy among the youth in Bladen County, to develop a greater appreciation for agriculture and the farm workers and everyone involved in agriculture, and to provide them with the basic agriculture production knowledge, specifically in strawberry production. Okay. So the picture over here is from this is from our poultry contest last month, and this is some of our 4-H students. When I was reflecting on this internship, it really has been an enjoyable experience. I have made lasting relationships with the Bladen Extension staff. They were always willing to help with any questions I had, anything I needed for my internship, any answers for my manual, whatever it may have been. It was always a positive work environment. You know, they respected one another. They made their work a priority, but at the same time, they could joke around and just be real with each other. And so I have a quote here: teamwork makes the dream work. And I think they're a great example of what a real team looks like. And this internship also provided me with some networking opportunities with farmers and fellow agents. I got to meet a lot of farmers through the farm visits, and some agents through our district activity day, and also through the cotton and peanut field day. It has been fun, educational, and memorable. I've been taught, and I kind of knew some of the things that extension agents do, but during this internship, I actually got to learn by doing. And I 10 out of 10 recommend an internship with Extension. It really has been a great experience, a very educational and fun internship as well. So that's the conclusion of my internship. Some of the pictures are from farm visits and the livestock clinic. We actually got to see some farrowing hogs. But I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank y'all for your attention, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Libby, thank you very much. What questions do you have for Libby?
I just had a question. Could I ask a question, Dr. Donaldson? Libby, I saw lots of good, it appeared to be equity and diversity, right, in the pictures of the campers. I'm just wondering, is that a focus of the extension office down there in Bladen County, or how did you get such a, what looked like a pretty healthy mix of students together, or campers rather.
I believe that is a big focus. All the staff, we have a diverse staff at the office, and they all reach out to their friends and family. So, and then we encourage the kids to invite their friends. So I think that's kind of important in how we do get a diverse audience of participants.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that we really appreciated Libby. She was great to work with. We kind of threw her in a couple of times and she did an awesome job. I'm in Riddick Hall, so I was trying to not talk too loud. But we really appreciated her. This is our 5th year with the NC State intern, and every year they have been great.
Becky, thank you. Thank you for the opportunities you provide for our students. And Libby, happy National Intern Day. We're glad you were an intern, and thank you very much for your presentation. Please join me in congratulating Libby, and please find your favorite emoji to celebrate her. Now we turn to Johnston County. Susie Douglas was the intern in Johnston County. I want to introduce her supervisors, County Extension Director Bryant Spivey and Extension Livestock Agent Dan Wales. Susie is an animal science major. She is an extension education minor. Her hometown is Louisville, North Carolina in Forsyth County. She has worked at the NC State Dairy Farm as well as the Dairy Heritage Education Museum. Please join me in welcoming Susie Douglas.
Thank you. Okay. So my name is Susie Douglas. I am going into my senior year this year. So I actually started on the pre-vet track and working at the Dairy Education Center. I realized that I didn't want to do vet school pretty quickly. And so we started talking to my managers and other peers around me. And I had no idea what extension was. I did not grow up in an ag background, but I found a love for it working at the dairy unit. And so the rest is kind of history. And I absolutely love extension. This internship has been amazing. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what I've done. So the Johnston County Extension mission statement: the employees of Johnston County are dedicated to enhancing the quality of life in our community by working together to provide responsive, efficient, and innovative services. So our employees here, get my screen out of the way so I can see. All right, so we have our County Extension Director, who's Bryant Spivey. He's the field crops agent, one of them. And then we have our 4-H and youth development agents, Courtney Stanley and Meredith Wood. So most counties only have one 4-H agent, and we're lucky to have two. We have our Ag and Natural Resources agents, Tim Britton, who is another field crops agent. Brandon Parker and Marshall Warren are the horticulture agents. Brandon Parker focuses more on the commercial side. And then Dan Wells, who is the livestock agent. And then family consumer science agent, Cassidy Hall. Our support specialist, Shannon Hopkins, and our administrative assistant is Crystal Pope Jones. We have a new position of a farm educator, Alejandra Mendoza. And then our FNAP educator is Patricia Saltpaw. So here we have kind of an overview of the county. So total population is 226,000, and that's rapidly growing every day. The number of farms in the county is about 1,000, and the land and farms of acres, 183,000, and then the average size of those farms is about 172 acres. So although there's a small number of farms, they're typically larger scale. And then primary occupation, which is farming, there's about 696. And then for other occupation, so part-time farmers, there's about 985. So some of the major commodities that are produced in this county are hogs and pigs, tobacco, veggies, melons, potatoes, and sweet potatoes, more so the sweet potatoes than the rest, poultry and eggs, grains, oilseeds, dry beans, and dry peas. So this is one of my work products here. So Johnston County, along with other surrounding counties and their livestock agents, about every 2 months, they'll send out this livestock newsletter. So this month, it was Dan Wells' turn to put what he wants on the front page. And so he asked me to help him write this front page. So we talked about applying for livestock forage losses through the Farm Service Agency, as Johnston County was in quite a severe drought for a little bit. And so they were able to apply for these losses due to the drought. So we also talked about forage tests for nitrate levels. So in a drought, the grass, of course, there's no water, and so it hinders the uptake of nitrogen. And so they just want to test for the nitrogen levels in the forage to make sure it's safe for consumption by those animals. So I produced 2 educational activities. So this one was the Cloverbud Crafts. It was already planned. I just hosted it and kind of chose the crafts that we did. So it's for Cloverbuds. They're age 5 to 7, and it was crafts that they could enter into the fall showcase this fall. And so I chose about like 5 to 7 crafts for these kids to do, knowing that you don't want too much downtime and you want extra just in case. These kids get so excited, so they move so quick. But crafts consisted of a nature walk to find raw materials to make clay imprints. So they could take pine cones, sticks, whatever they wanted to imprint into clay and make a little tray or just something to set on the counter or set on a table for mom or dad or whoever they wanted to make it for. And then they would use those other natural materials to paint on canvas afterwards. Well, you can see here on the left, the bottom left picture, this little boy, he made a whole like Jurassic Park scene with his materials. He made a triceratops. He has a whole village of people. So I had to think quick on my feet and move on to the next craft, because most of the kids use their materials for making scenes and different things like this instead of what it was used for. So with kids, you definitely have to learn to think on your feet. And so we painted with stamps on these canvases, learned about primary colors, made charms and necklaces out of these perler beads, which you can see on the bottom right. We tried not to make a mess, so we put them in big cookie sheets, but they still ended up everywhere. And then this was the other educational activity. So we did a fecal egg count workshop. This was actually on the afternoon after the Cloverbud Crafts. So that was a blessing and a curse all in the same thing. It was nice because I got everything done in one day, but it was also tiring. But so this workshop here was open to anybody who owned sheep or goats, or anybody who wanted to have sheep or goats or know somebody with them. It was kind of open to whoever wanted to come. But the goal of this workshop was to educate people on parasites, dewormer medications, and how to use them responsibly, and then preventative measures to avoid these parasite infections, so possibly avoiding the administration of those dewormers. So I reached out to Dr. Andrew Weaver. He's the small ruminant specialist at the university. And so he helped by giving a short presentation on those things. And then we actually had 3 stations set up so people could bring their own fecal samples of their animals. And so they can actually analyze and see what their animals may be carrying and if what they're treating with is working or not. And so they can kind of take that information home with them. So the results of this workshop, I think, were pretty successful. We had 75% of the respondents indicated that they did not know the 3 classes of dewormers before this event. And then 100% of them say that they now know after. And then 100% of the respondents intended to change the way that they administer dewormers based on the information that they learned. And then 100% of the respondents were able to identify parasites in the animals' fecal samples. So this is great because we do have a pressing issue on dewormers. So our parasites can become resistant. And so if we can pull back and use less of those treatments, it would prevent those parasites from becoming more resistant. And so those dewormers will actually be effective. So we have a livestock judging trip. So Dan Wells here, he is the livestock agent. And so he does a lot with the youth livestock. And so about once a week of my internship, they have a judging practice where they go around to different farmers in the area and they work with that farmer and they put a couple classes together so they can practice and judge on their animals. And so Dan Wells every summer will plan this trip or a trip. And so he started talking about planning a trip to Indiana this summer. And I was like, that's awesome. That's incredible. I like that these kids get to travel. And I was like, great. But what am I supposed to do for that week? I was like, I've got to find something to do. But he started talking more about it. And I was like, I think I'm going on this trip. So I was very lucky that I got to travel to Indiana with this internship. And so I'll show you some pictures from this. It was a lot of fun and very informative. So I'm coming from not an agriculture background. I had no idea what I was coming into, but I think I've learned just as much from these kids as they have from Dan and these farmers. So the team consists of, or on this trip, there was 8 kids that went. And I think it was about 8 to 18 years old was the range of children. And then the regular judging practices are open to any 4-H member, but this trip is only open to kids who attended at least 50% of practices and contests the previous year. So for 8 kids to be there, they're pretty active. So our first stop, we kind of toured the National FFA Center. So this was awesome because a lot of those kids are in FFA. They've never seen this, or some are just coming to the age to start FFA. So they were very interested, and this was a great tour. We stopped at Hortsman Cattle Company. They have a lot of beef cattle. And so we just put some classes together there, and you could see all of us there. Fairstock Farms, so this was hogs. So a lot of our practices before this trip were focusing on sheep and goats and cattle. And so this was kind of my first experience with hogs. And so the kids were not confident in themselves. They haven't had much experience with it. And so I saw this and I have no idea about pigs. And so I was asking them questions about what to look for and what to see. And they were like, well, don't listen to me, I don't know. But when we went over the classes and their placing and what the correct order was, most of the kids got it right. And so I think they learned a valuable lesson in being confident in themselves, which is a great quality. And then this was our fun stop at the end of the week, right before we went home. So we toured the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We actually got to do a lap around the track and participate in the tradition of kissing the bricks. So it was really fun. So learning through experience, clientele receive education and information from cooperative extension through seminars, workshops, workplace visits, social media, newsletters, newspaper articles, and many other educational methods. So you can see here, I was actually thrown in on my second day of the internship. I actually went and planted some sweet potatoes, and lo and behold, trailer tire that we were carrying our tractor on blew on the side of the highway. So we had to stop and fix that. So that was a great second day. But you can see here, I've learned to shear sheep. We learned to castrate steers and bull calves, and then we did vaccinations, ear tags, all sorts of things. And so through this internship, I've learned these other qualities, and so that's great because then I can reach more people in the future that way with all of these new qualities and things learned. So other things that I've learned, number one, to be flexible. You have to be flexible in your schedule to allow for farm visits and home visits and to allow for things that you need to have done. So that leads into time management. You need to be able to manage your time and the fact that you may have things that you have to get done that's on a time crunch. And so you have to allow time for that. And you have to know when to say no and when to say that you can't help. And then 3, separation of home and work life. So as a college student, it doesn't quite apply to me just yet, but I'd rather make it a habit now before it becomes a problem. So working 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, you're spending more time at work than you are at home. And so to be able to separate that and come home and leave work at work is very important. And then for problem solving, so as an extension agent, you're solving problems. So part of your job is to provide a service. And so you have to be able to answer a phone call that may be asking about a weed that's not responding to herbicide, or there's something wrong with the produce that they're growing, or anything that comes through that door, you have to be prepared for. And if you don't know the answer for it, you got to find the right people that do. And then number 5, I think this might be the most important, to write in pencil on your calendar. So it goes along with being flexible and learning to manage your time. I have so many scratch marks in my calendar. So to be able to write in pencil to erase it, I think that's the way to go. So a reflection of my experience. I learned that I wanted to be more of a 4-H agent than a livestock agent. So I came into this thinking I wanted to be livestock because my whole vet school route, I really like animals and I really like food animals, but I also really like children. So I was kind of conflicted. I thought about being an ag teacher, but doing this experience and learning about 4-H, I have found a passion in where I'm comfortable. So I think that's just as valuable as anything. But so here in the middle, you can see there's a thank you note. So this was one of my first weeks helping with a farm to fork camp. And I didn't know hardly any of the kids the first day. I maybe knew 1 or 2 that had been on these judging practices. But so they were being all secretive, and all at the end of the week, we were writing thank you notes back to the farmers that we had visited. And they were like, oh, we need an extra one. We need an extra one. And so they actually wrote me and Miss Cassidy a thank you note along with Miss Courtney for helping them and being there with them. So that kind of warms your heart knowing that I'm only temporary, but I've made an impression on them. And then all in all, I recommend that anybody interested in extension to do an internship. So my experience has been amazing. I know some people's may not be if they go through it, but they've learned that they may not want to be an extension agent. So that's just as valuable. But I've learned that I definitely want to be an extension agent. So that has been my experience.
Susie, thank you very much. What questions do you have for Susie?
I have one. So Susie, you talked a little bit about work-life balance. For the good of the group here, do you have any things that you might have figured out during this experience that would be good for everybody else to know as far as what helps with work-life balance? Like what's one tip that you might have besides using pencil on your calendar?
So using that calendar, I definitely like to plan my week out ahead, knowing that it can change, but having in place, well, okay, I know I need to have this done on this day. So that way I'm not at home worrying about, okay, when am I going to do it? So sitting down maybe 20 minutes each day, maybe first thing when you get there, not even 20 minutes, just writing things down that you need to get done, just to clear your head of it before you get home.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Donaldson, I'd also just like to make a comment rather than a question, but I do want to congratulate Susie on a great internship, and she was an excellent candidate right from the beginning, and she certainly lived up to her candidacy during her internship here. She's been very, very responsible. As Allison said, you know, it's a little unusual for someone of her generation to demonstrate the kind of responsibility and timeliness that she does. And that's very refreshing to see. But I'd also mention too that Susie was always able to interact very easily and very positively with extension clientele, whether that was farmers or 4-H members, but definitely with those kids. For one example, when she'd hear a kid's name one time, she had it. And she'd call them by their name, and they very, very much responded very well to Susie. So congratulations and thanks again for a great experience with Johnston County.
Thank you.
I just want to also add my thanks to Susie for what she has done during the last couple of months while she's been here. She's been a tremendous intern in our office. In extension and our proximity to Raleigh, I think probably facilitates sometime us having maybe more extension interns than maybe some other counties get the opportunity to have sometimes. But we've had a lot of great ones to come through, and Susie is certainly among the tops of that group in my mind. And, much like it gives a potential extension agent or a potential extension worker an opportunity to see what the job is and see what it entails and see if it fits for them, it also gives us as current extension workers, a county extension director or an extension agent like Dan Wells, an opportunity to observe and see how this person would fit with an extension staff. And I can definitely say in this case with Susie, she would make a tremendous extension agent for someone, for some county somewhere. We don't have an opening here right now. But if we did, I can assure you, I would encourage Susie to apply for that and be very pleased that she was in the candidate pool. She's a tremendous young lady. Beat me here most mornings. I'd see her coming up, and some days that you don't have to be that timely to beat me, but some days you got to be real timely to beat me. And she's very timely and responsible, and that's a quality that is not everyone doesn't have that, but at any rate, she's a great individual. I want to also thank Dan Wells for his leadership of this internship here in Johnston County. Dan did a tremendous job of guiding Susie, and I think you can probably see that documented in her presentation. Even the documentation of the workshops that she did and the knowledge gained through the evaluation tools that were used there. So Susie has got a broad and complete picture of cooperative extension, some of our ag programs, some of our 4-H programs and FCS programs. And I think she has a really good idea of what it is that we do now. And I hate to say it, but we're going to miss her. And we wish her all the best.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you very much. Dan, thank you. Susie, we're glad you were an intern in this program. And happy National Intern Day. Thank you very much for your presentation. Please join me in recognizing Susie. Again, find your favorite emoji to send her positive vibes. Now we turn our attention to Stanley County. Meredith Simpson is our intern in Stanley County. Her supervisor is County Extension Director Molly Alexi. I want to recognize Molly. Meredith is a double major in animal science and poultry science. Meredith has a minor in extension education. Her hometown, I believe, is New London, North Carolina, in Stanley County. Meredith has worked as a veterinary assistant for a local veterinarian. At NC State, she's been very active in the Poultry Science Club. She's also an active member of North Carolina Cattlemen's Association. Please join me in welcoming Meredith Simpson.
Thank you, Dr. Donaldson. Let me share my screen. Okay, as Dr. Donaldson said, my name is Meredith Simpson, and I have a double major in animal science and poultry science and a minor in extension education. And I interned this summer in Stanley County, which is my home county. So this is just an overview of my hometown. So in relation to other counties, Stanley County is in the South Central District, and certain counties that we border include Rowan, Cabarrus, Union, Anson, and Montgomery. The picture to the right is a picture of Albemarle. Albemarle is our county seat of Stanley County, and it is also where our office was located. Bar Mountain State Park is a very large recreational hotspot for our county, and it also has a lot of agriculture commodities with it. And then to the right is Lake Tillery, and Lake Tillery it borders Stanley and Montgomery. There's a bridge that goes across into Montgomery County, and it's a large spot for Stanley County. So that's just a little bit about my hometown. So the cooperative extension office in which I worked in was amazing, and I had a great time working with them. Molly Alexi was our county extension director, and on the first day, she made it clear about all the procedures and everything that we do on a daily basis there, and she was very welcoming to me, and it just made me feel much more comfortable on my first day. Michaela Vick is our 4-H youth development agent, and I worked very closely with her. She was one of my supervising extension agents this summer, as well as Molly. And I had a great time working with her on the different summer blast programs that we participated in. Jared Butler was our field crops and horticulture agent, and I was able to accompany him on certain field tests in farms, in our local farms for different cotton varieties that were being grown. Caitlin Stegall was our livestock agent, and because my major is animal science and poultry science, I was able to work closely with her on helping plan livestock camp. So I had a great time working with her as well. Haley Cow is our family and consumer science agent, and I was able to work with her on different classes that she offered through canning. And Chelsea Barber is our nutrition program assistant for SNAP education. And I was able to see how Haley and Chelsea work together on a lot of different programs. So that was enjoyable to watch. And Lisa Forrest is our administrative assistant. And it was great working with her. Any questions that I had, she was able to answer them. And I just had a great time working with this group of workers, and I could see the teamwork, collaboration work together greatly. So one thing about our office that is very interesting is that we have employees from both of the Grand Lake universities, which includes NC State University and NC A&T universities, and Haley Cow and Chelsea Barber are our A&T positions. We also have a small farms agent position vacancy right now that'll be shared between Stanley and Anson County, and it should be posted soon to be filled. But I just thought that was an interesting aspect about Stanley County. So one of my summer projects that I helped with was the Covenant Stream Center, which was a disability service for adults located in Stanley County. This was a program that was hosted, or it was facilitated by our SDS agent and nutrition educator. It was a 3-week long program from Speedway to Healthy, and I was able to attend 2 visits out of the 3. It started the week before my internship started. So when I was able to go there, they were able to learn about nutritional food groups, fitness exercises, and oral hygiene. And I just thought this was a very enriching experience, and seeing all the people that is able to be reached by extension programs. One of my other summer projects that I helped with was the 4-H Summer Blast Program. I helped Michaela Vick, our 4-H agent, on different camps that our county hosted. I helped with 4-H binder organization. I alphabetized all the student participants in alphabetical order, and that just made it really, really easy in the organization. I helped with 4-H payment methods, just determining who had paid for the camps and who had not. I organized all the t-shirts and made sure that whatever student was coming in, they got their t-shirt on that day of camp. I helped coordinate different materials and lesson plans for different camps, especially livestock camp. I helped with snacks, and I also made name tags for all the camps that we hosted this summer. So some of the 4-H camps that we hosted included a bread making basics camp, which they were able to learn all about making bread and make their own dough. A Magic of Electricity camp, where we partnered with our local Stanley Community College electrical engineering program, and the students were able to just perform different activities there. We had a soil solutions camp where Michaela and Jared, our horticulture and field cross agent, collaborated and made a fun camp for the kids. The summer safari camp was a trip to the North Carolina Zoo that the kids very much so enjoyed. Turf Time and Sewing 101 were two camps that I was not able to participate in because that was the week that I was out sick. But I was able to work remotely and provide all the needed materials that Michaela asked for. So I was able to make the most out of the situation. We had a Fit Kids camp, and we were also able to partner with a local business, a local gym, and that is where the camp was hosted. We had a craft camp. We had a livestock roundup camp, and I was able to help with the livestock roundup camp and develop lesson plans for that. I was able to facilitate the First Responders Day. It was actually hosted just last week on July 21st, and that was a very interesting experience and able to facilitate. So here's just some of our 4-H camps that we hosted this summer. The first picture is after going to the dairy at livestock camp. We went and got ice cream. We visited a dairy in Anson County, and afterward we gave the students a sweet treat. The second picture is of Soil Solutions Camp. I was able to teach the kids about different soil layers through snack foods. So that is just me helping provide them with the correct materials. The third picture is a picture at Stanley Community College for the Magic of Electricity camp. The fourth picture in the top right corner is a picture of the students at craft camp, and they got to paint cactuses. The next picture is at Gold's Gym, which is a local fitness center where we hosted fitness camp. This picture is of the North Carolina Zoo. And these two pictures are of soil camp and the soil activity that they were able to learn about soil layers. And then the bread making camp where they were able to make their own bread using and rolling out dough. So livestock camp was the day that I was actually observed by Dr. Donaldson. I was able to come up with some different activities to teach the students about the digestive system of livestock animals. So I made a presentation. It just gave an overview of the different monogastric and ruminant systems for the digestive system. The students were able to play a matching game where they could match the function of the digestive system to the correct part. They were able to play a rumen activity where they could see how gas builds up in the rumen using hot water, yeast, and sugar. And we put a balloon on top of the bottle, and they were able to see how the balloon expanded, mimicking the rumen. The monogastric activity, we used a strainer, bread, and soda to mimic how the digestive system filters out different nutrients. And then they were able to use Play-Doh models to make their own digestive system for silhouettes. So the First Responders Day was a day that I helped facilitate. I was very passionate about this because my dad has spent the last 30 years being a first responder, and he just recently retired as the Emergency Medical Services Director for Stanley County. So we were able to have the Forestry Service, EMS, the Sheriff's Office, the Safe Kids program, and a fire department come and teach the kids about what they do on a daily basis. So the first picture is of the bulldozer that the Forestry Service brought. They're actually housed in the same office where the extension office is housed. So they were able to come and just show us some of the tools that they use. Some of the kids are in front of an ambulance here, and they were able to go inside and play with the sirens as well as in the sheriff's office. They were able to learn about fire safety and bike safety with the Safe Kids. And then at the end of the day, the fire truck came and they were able to get inside, and then the fire truck sprayed its hose and the kids were able to play in it. So some of the other work products that I have completed include a bulletin board and an advertising newsletter that shows all the different opportunities that 4-H offers. In the middle is the 4-H flyer that I designed using Canva, and it shows the Barn Kids, Kitchen Kids, which are two clubs that Stanley County 4-H offers, and just the different opportunities that parents can be involved in or their students can be involved in. And the left is a picture of the bulletin board before we did anything with it. This is located in our education center. And I was able to, me and the 4-H agent were able to come up with a saying that we thought was appropriate for the room. And to the right is a picture of the final product. So some of the results and accomplishments that I was able to take away from this opportunity included just networking opportunities, being able to attend all the meetings that I was able to attend, including meetings with this is a picture of our county manager, Andy Lucas. I was able to attend a meeting with him. I was able to attend a county commissioner meeting, and of course, all the extension meetings that I was able to attend. I was able to see teamwork displayed throughout my coworkers and just seeing them work together on different programs. I was able to learn about different software opportunities, different software online. I was able to learn how to use 4-H online, which was it was difficult to navigate, but we made it through. I was able to evaluate, the different job opportunities that are available through extension. I was able to help develop lesson plans, evaluations of the different camps that were hosted this summer and how the students enjoy them, and what we can fix next year, what activities we can move to next year, and just all the opportunities that extension offers. Before having this internship, I was not aware of some of the opportunities that were offered through extension, but now I can see that it offers programs to everyone of different ages. So my internship with Reflection, I thought this quote was appropriate for this prompt. Do what you can with what you have where you are. And I think that just shows that, make the most of where you're at and the time. Each day in cooperative extension will be presented differently. Each day was very different for my experience anyway. There could be a phone call for one day for, what's wrong with my tomato plant? Why does it have black leaves? Or I know that one day we had a question from somebody in the community. How can we capture these hogs that have gotten loose? So just different. I know that each day will be presented differently, and you've got to be ready for that. Another reflection that I took away was how important it is to have positive relationships with those you work with, because a work environment can really make your job or break it. And I had a great experience working with the best coworkers. I was able to see how they work together collaboratively on the different programs that we offered, and it was just amazing to see how they all came together and worked. A positive experience working with the community. You're going to be working with so many different members of the community, so it's important to have those up close relationships. Being able to work in my home county just reinforces my goal to work locally where I grew up. I'm a homebody, so I really want to stay in the county where I grow up because it's always going to be home. It's still where my family lives. So this just reinforced that goal of mine. As well as working as an extension agent, I really found a love for teaching. So I'm open to all the opportunities that may come with as possibly being an ag teacher. So we'll see what the opportunities arrive when I do graduate and it's time for me to look for that job. And the final quote that I had from my reflection includes, I don't know what the future may hold, but I know who holds the future. And that just comes from my faith. I may not know what opportunities may arise, and it makes me nervous not knowing, but I know that God will provide a way and he'll provide the right job for me. So thank y'all for listening to my presentation. And are there any questions?
Hey Meredith, I just had a question. Obviously, you're a double major, you've got this minor in extension education, but you kind of had a breadth of experiences that may have ranged kind of outside of your education and what your education has prepared you for. So I wonder if you're looking into, your time that you have left at NC State, has it made you want to pursue maybe taking classes in any other aspect of ag to kind of improve if you were to pursue a career in extension? Has it made you kind of rethink any courses you might want to take or add in the future?
That's a great question. Yes, I have actually been thinking about possibly taking other classes just because I'm going to be a senior this year and I'm so far into my education as it is. I've possibly thought about, if the opportunity does arise to work at a local high school, if I were to be an ag teacher, I would probably do lateral entry through that way. But again, I'm open to all job opportunities, and we'll just see what opens up. So, but if I do become an extension agent, I would love to get my master's in animal science or extension. So,
Thank you.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank Meredith. She was very professional. She was a complete joy to work with. She really helped all of our agents. It was fun to see how she brought her skill sets and really helped to be able to expand our programs this summer. We really thoroughly enjoyed having you on our team, and I hope some extension career opportunities will open up and in the area so that we can keep you at home and get you an extension. You'll make an excellent teacher as well. So just follow your heart, and whatever opportunities, just be prepared for them, and you'll be successful.
thank you, Molly.
Molly, thank you very much for providing an opportunity like this for Meredith. And Meredith, thank you very much for your presentation. Happy National Intern Day. And please join me in congratulating Meredith and all of our interns, and please share an appropriate emoji to celebrate Meredith. So that brings us to the close of our Extension Education Seminar for summer 2022. I want to thank our interns for their interest in NC Cooperative Extension. We look forward to working with all of you in your professional life, hopefully as extension colleagues one day. And if you do choose to work in North Carolina, please let us know how we can serve you, and please stay in touch. Also, on behalf of all the directors of graduate programs in College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at NC State, any director of graduate programs would be happy to speak with you about their graduate programs and how those can fit into your extension professional life. Again, thank you all very much for being here. Thanks to our interns. Thanks for our county extension personnel. Again, happy National Intern Day, and please have a great week.
Thank you, Dr. Donaldson.
Thank you so much.